And I don't think we have special sauce at all, but I do think we put people first. Don't get me wrong. The business is the bottom line and the most important thing.
Yeah.
But if you take care of your team, they take care of your business. 100%.
Are you wrapping cars more than 12 hours a day, every day? Working nonstop but can barely get by? Burnout, missing deadlines, and wondering just how much longer you can keep this up?
That was us too. We started our wrap shop buried under $250,000 in debt, and it felt absolutely impossible. But we dug out, built a profitable shop, and are still in the trenches of owning and operating a wrap shop. We're here to share what we learned along the way so that you don't make the same mistakes that we did.
And we're here to help you with the business side of the wraps, like pricing, building a team, streamlining your systems, ultimately so that you can run your shop and your shop stops running you.
Welcome to the Wrap Ops Podcast, brought to you by Wrap Fam Unleashed. Today, I have the absolute honor to sit down with the one and only Charlie Trujillo from Lettering Express. Now, if you are having any issues with hiring or staff culture, or maybe even where to find that perfect installer, you're going to want to listen to this interview. And before we dive right into it, I want to do a quick shout out to ISA and the Wrap Institute. If it wasn't for them, we would not have this booth at the ISA Expo, and we would not be able to bring you, I think 16 or 17 interviews is what we got while we were here. So big shout out to them, but we are going to go ahead and dive right into this episode with Charlie Trujillo. Charlie, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we're here with Charlie with Lettering Express, and I just want to start at the beginning. How did you get started in the industry, and how did Lettering Express get to where it is? Let's just get the background on that.
Yeah, so my parents started Lettering Express in 1988.
Oh, family biz.
Family biz, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Back then, it was like a traditional sign shop, lots of layered die-cut graphics and stuff like that, just plotter, stuff like that. We were making banners, we were stretching banners, putting down black and then white on top and blue and like real old school stuff. I might be making myself sound like a damn dinosaur here, but it's really not the case.
Yeah.
But
in this instance, are you a kid or is this adult you?
Yeah, for perspective, I was 87. So I was born in 87.
Okay. I thought you were saying you were 87 years old. I'm hold on, the math isn't mathing.
No. So business
this is in 87.
Yes.
Okay.
Business is 88. I was born in 87. So by the time I actually started working in the business, I was 6, 7, 8 years old.
Got it.
Back then. But so parents started the business in 88. They sold the business in 2006. In 2006, we were still just kind of like a traditional sign shop, maybe doing a little bit of wraps here and there. For perspective purposes, I was a senior in high school.
Sure.
So I moved to Colorado, Breckenridge, Colorado. Was a little bit of a ski bum out there for about a year. And I had no intentions of moving back to Oklahoma. And I got myself in a situation with my friends and my roommates and stuff like that. So I needed to move back to Oklahoma, and I needed a job, and I reached out to my mom to give me a heads up on hey, I'm moving back to Oklahoma. What should I do?
Yeah.
And I reached out to my good buddy with Stacy's Custom Stripes, and he was going to give me a job, but then it didn't work out. So my mom said, you should call the new owners of Lettering Express. Mm-hmm. So I called the new owners of Lettering Express. I'm like, hey, big dog, you hiring? And he's like, not right now. He's like, okay, cool. So a few days go on. I'm about to move to Oklahoma. So I was like, all right, I'll just figure this out when I get back. Well, he calls me the day before I move back to Oklahoma and says, actually, I need to get someone in here. So I would love to give you an opportunity. So I came back to Oklahoma, and he's giving me a tour of the shop. I'm seeing some old faces from my parents' days and meeting some new faces. And he introduces me to his 2 lovely daughters. And I ended up marrying one of those ladies.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that's how you guys met.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I ended up marrying Jillian, and a few years later, we get married. I'm sorry, we have a couple kids. My in-laws retire. So we've been running the business for about 10 plus years.
What a crazy story.
Just
how you come together, that your parents owned it and then her parents, and that's crazy.
Well, what's even beautiful about that is whenever my parents sold, my mom hung back and helped for the transition, and it was a nice, smooth transition, and it really feels like a family-owned business for 38 years.
Yeah, that's rare.
Because it is.
It normally ends in, explosion.
Yeah. So that's kind of, that's a little bit of our background as far as Jill and I and Lettering Express. But to give you a little deeper background, so like I said, we were a traditional sign shop, and then we started pushing vehicle wraps, wall wraps, full wraps, all that good stuff. And
what made you think, let me dive into this? Was it like coming to a show like this and you see it, or people kept asking for it?
You know what? I did an interview yesterday, and what I said was, it was around 2000 like 15, 14, 13, around there. That's when I started getting certifications.
Okay.
But social media was blowing up. So Instagram and there was Vines or whatever the hell it was. There was all these different videos, and it was pushing restyling and the cool side of the rap industry. And I just got like really stoked on that and linked up with the Pain is Dead guys and the Masters of Branding guys, and just kind of went both routes, to the commercial side and the color change side.
Sure.
And it really, we got cut. I don't know if we got lucky or if now I look back and say it wasn't strategic, but maybe it was at the time. I just didn't realize it.
Sure.
I just knew that we weren't offering wraps and we should start pushing them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So then once you started offering wraps, what is your role specifically in Lettering Express? And is Jillian, what's her role? What's the division there?
Well, nowadays she's the president. I'm the CEO.
Okay.
We've actually shifted our business quite a bit. Pre-pandemic, we had 30 team members. So
wow.
So 29.
That's
huge.
Yeah.
Too big. We had.
It's a lot when you're managing 30 people. We manage 10, and I'm like, oof.
Yeah. For any business, so I used to pride myself in saying we had 30 team members, but like now when I hear someone say 30 team members, I'm like, ooh, are you efficient?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because what happened was we started dwindling down naturally. Like during the pandemic, we didn't lay anyone off. Like we had
impressive.
We had a few people quit on their own,
sure,
for personal reasons, this, that, or whatever. I had a few people leave the state. And as time went down, as time went on, we started to go down as far as team members.
Okay.
So now we are currently in 26. We're at 14 individuals, and we are doing pretty much the same numbers we were doing in 2019.
Oh, so you're looking back, you're like, oh,
we weren't efficient. I'm curious to what people were doing. I don't think they were literally just hanging out. It's just us as a business owners, we just didn't have the processes down and the accountability set up.
I was about to say, that sounds like the accountability side of it. So,
oh, for sure.
How did you start building that part? How is the accountability side of your business now? Do you check in with your team members every week, or are one of you on the floor every day, or what does that look like?
We went crazy and had, we had team leads, we had department leads, we had just too many people. And I think that's where I let people in my team drive years ago, and maybe I shouldn't have let them drive. And that kind of affects the culture a little bit. So nowadays we kind of switched it up. Since we have so small of a team nowadays, we have no managers within the organization at all.
Okay.
So basically what it is I do the back house of staff, Jill does the front house of staff, excluding our head designer. I work with him as well. I don't fancy myself a designer, but I've set up a lot of wraps, and I have a really good idea on how to put those up for success. And so now I'm doing twice a month with my director of sales. My director of operations is leaving to be a teacher here in about 3 months.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we're slowly taking his responsibilities and moving him out through the team. And
well, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
So what would be the difference of that director of position versus a manager?
Yeah. So the director of operations was really running the shop. If I'm here right now, if someone called, he would be the person to get that in order for me, or that person or whatever. The director of sales originally was doing more of managing the design team, because our design team does the sales. We don't have salespeople.
I've seen that setup before. It's very interesting.
That's how my parents did it back in the day. Back in the day, I would sell the job. I would design the job. I would plot the job. And sometimes I would weed and install that job.
Does that mean you're doing the design before you're quoting, or no?
No, no, we don't do this. I mean, honestly, one of my guys, Brian, sometimes he'll do a design before quoting, because he's so good. And if you say, I want this, and he's done. It's done. It's good.
Yeah.
So our system, the way that we do it is someone will come in and they'll say, I want to do a vehicle wrap, and we'll try to get them a quote as quickly as possible, say $47.50, whatever that number may be.
Yeah.
And if they have a design, we'll figure out the details of that. Or if they don't have a design, we'll try to set expectation of a design fee, revisions and timeline to have that approved so we can have that on the schedule in a timely manner.
And this is your designer saying all of this.
This is our designer.
That's very impressive. I feel like all the designers that we have worked with are your more kind of introverted, a little more quiet groups. Or are yours more
100%
outgoing?
Yes and no.
Okay.
We kind of find there's a realm that they live in and thrive in.
Sure.
So one might do really well with a big fleet project. One might do well with a more of a design heavy project.
Yes.
So we try to, if we see something coming in and it's like, oh, that's a restyling project. Let's send that. Let's go to Charlie.
Okay.
It's like, oh, that's a heavy design. Oh, let's send that to Brian.
And favoring their strengths, basically.
100%.
So you don't have your super artsy person doing that kind of more boring commercial graphic or
100%.
whatnot.
We try to be specific and very intentional. That's one thing that we've been doing the last few years is just hyper focus.
Yeah.
We realized we had 30 product offerings and we were really good at 7 of them.
Okay.
So we like, yeah, we can do those other ones and we can do them okay.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to create a great customer experience and win on every aspect. And on those other, 23 or whatever the hell I said, it's just, we weren't killing it every single time. So over time, we slowly but surely started getting rid of those products and those client interactions. So let's say we had 1,000 client interactions in the year. The next year, we broke it down to 500 client interactions and had the same sales.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So you have the same story for your team that you almost have for your customers, basically. So 100%. It's that same principle there.
Just trying to be intentional, man.
Yeah. Just like have a plan, be lean, efficient, kind of cut out the fluff and whatnot.
For sure, man. I think too many folks like let social media and comparing themselves to others. That's why I go back to I used to pride myself on the size of that team. And now I look back and I'm like, man, we were slipping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what the cool thing now is with our team, another intentional reason why we're trying to have such a small team is with today's cost of living and the way the world runs, for me to pay an actual living wage is extremely difficult for 30 people.
Yeah.
So for me to be able to feel good and sleep good at night, knowing that I'm taking care of my team. I'm trying to have a lean, mean team. And that also lets you know that pretty much everyone on my team is an assassin one way or another.
Sure.
So it's very nice.
Can we, I'm not going to ask, dollar amount what you pay, but are you on an hourly or do you have your team on salary, benefits? How are you setting up your team and what's working best in that department?
Where's Jillian? She's going to know all this.
Is this Jillian? Okay. No, as she was here though, I was like, I need to get her on the pod because I'm like, oh shoot, I should have had her on. So I'll reach out to her after this.
No, she's great.
Okay. So that's her department?
No, we both do it.
Together?
We do it, but she's the really more on like the insurance and like the actual proper benefits, but I'll do my best to explain it.
Well, just layman's terms. Like, do they get insurance?
So what we'll do is, every state's different. Like we legally have to do X amount of dollars of their insurance if they're on our company insurance. So we do so we do that percentage of paying towards their insurance. We do a match.
Like a retirement match type thing.
We do a match there. We do on-the-job training. We prefer to people have come in with no experience. We work with the local college as well as the trade school. So we get a lot of young individuals in our building. And we try to, so I could give you an example. We used to, pre-pandemic, we'd hire people in for $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Like they would just start at $10 an hour. And then we'd work them up. Well, now, just a few years later, we start people at 15. 18.
Yeah. It's
20.
Same exact thing for us in Ohio.
It's just, it's crazy. So
high schoolers negotiate now, which is wild to me.
It is insane.
Yeah. I did not negotiate when I worked at a chicken wing place.
But you know what? That's kind of cool. I will say this though, there is this idea of like value that is kind of wrong in a way. It's like, kid coming in off the street with no experience, someone like you or I trying to train them on the job. And it's also, I think our culture is completely different. And I think we have a dope culture and we really try to incentivize our team to do more, to bring the stoke, to have fun. And if they're not having fun with us, I want them to have fun somewhere. So that's kind of the thing that we really push is culture. And that's usually what brings people in the building during the hiring process. That's the benefit they say. Like we had a guy that was a contract installer that would come help us randomly. And a few years go by and he calls me and says, hey man, I'm looking to maybe find a home. I've been traveling the country for a few years now. He's a young guy. And he goes, man, I've been all over this place. And if I was going to work in a shop, it'd be your shop.
Oh, that's really nice to
You
hear.
know, oh, it was
Yeah.
great. And
That's like better than money.
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Because what he said is, I go to a lot of shops and no one runs a shop like you guys run a shop.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have special sauce at all, but I do think we put people first.
Yeah.
And I hope that the team can recognize that as well. I think they do.
Yeah.
Because I think don't get me wrong, the business is the bottom line and the most important thing.
Yeah.
But if you take care of your team, they take care of your
take care of
business.
you
100%.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. And when we get back, I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into your team dynamic, your team culture, and how that is working so well for you. So go ahead and share this with someone who you think could increase their team culture, maybe a wrap shop owner that you know that you're like, they could use a little love, or maybe they're absolutely rocking it and you just want to share the story with them. And we'll be right back.
After years of running a wrap shop, I've learned this. Your supplier should be a partner, not a question mark. That's why we trust Grimco. For over 5 years now, they have delivered on time and backed us when it mattered most. There's enough to manage in this business. Your supplier should not be one of them. Set up your new account today. Use code RAPOPS5 for 5% off your first order with Grimco.
Welcome back. We are here with Charlie with Lettering Express, and we're diving right back in, and we're going to talk about team culture.
Let's
so
go.
Can we start with like your hiring process? So let's say right now you need another installer. What does your process look like to find that person?
Well, we're very intentional when it comes to the hiring process. So when it comes to, let's say, okay, for the example, let's say someone has no experience. I highly prefer no experience.
Yes.
Because a couple things, I can get them hired in a more aggressive hourly wage. They have no bad habits. They have no preferences or ideas of when someone comes in with habits. It's hard to break habits. And that's usually the beginning. So when they're coming in. We'll do, depends on how they come in. So we do, what do you call them? Internships.
Sure. Yeah.
So
like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Internship,
We work with the trade schools, and we'll do a tour with the trade schools. And we'll have 2 classes come through in a day, 20 in the afternoon class and the morning class.
And I assume these are juniors and seniors in high school, or is this college?
This is like, I think it's like 16 to like 20 is like the age.
Gotcha.
So they might be like a trade school right out of school.
Got it.
Right out of high school as well. So we'll get them coming in, and let's say we have 40 students that day come throughout the office. I'm always saying like, hey, we do an internship. If you're trying to get hired today, everyone in this room is your enemy. You need to outshine every single person in here, and you need to make me believe that you're the right person.
Interesting.
And they kind of like look, and I'm like, I'm serious. It's like if you want me to hire you, you make me hire you. We had a girl that
spark some competitive.
We had a girl come try to get a job from us, and I just loved her. She was great. She came and
Dude, the girls are crushing it.
Oh,
our shop is mostly all female.
Oh, we've had a
and
bunch
I'm
of girls
like,
over the years.
we need to hire more girls in the industry, and I'm a little biased.
No,
but
dude,
they have that eye for detail, the vision,
patience.
the patience.
The patience, yes.
They work together. So anyway, little
they
plug
don't have
there.
the male ego either. That's
Yeah.
There's a real big problem with that.
I know.
But there was a young lady. She came in and she's like, "Hey, are you guys hiring?" I was like, "No," and she's like, "Oh man," and she's like, "Okay, cool." She came in like a week later. She's like, "Hey, are you guys hiring yet?" And I was like, "Dog, no."
Yes.
And then like she came back like a third time, and I was like, "When we're hiring, we're calling you."
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
Absolutely.
And a few months later, we were hiring. We called her, and she worked for us for years and years and years. She exited the company, healthy wise, whatever.
Yeah.
She actually just came back.
Oh.
That gentleman I was just talking about that's going to be a teacher.
Yeah.
When he was like, we were going through the process of figuring out the logistics of him exiting the company. I was like, okay, we need to hire someone. And he was like, well, blah, blah, blah is looking for a job. And I was like, what? And so he called her, and it worked out. Now she's back in the business,
That's
man.
awesome.
But so it really depends on how they come into the business. So
Sure.
if they're doing the internship, it starts in that first day. I'm reading them. So
in that walkthrough when they're with their class, you're looking at all of them.
Oh, 100%.
It's so funny you say that. I just sat down with Justin Pate, and he said the same thing here, that he's watching everybody.
Oh, why would you not be? Like, this is an opportunity for everyone in this room. There could be a young installer that I need. And I'm like, hey, dog, you're phenomenal. Do you want to move to Oklahoma? Do you want to help me in this part of the country?
Yeah.
Whatever it may
and
be.
so that would maybe be you going down that experienced installer.
Yeah, that's
track.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we'll come back to that. I want to ask you about that.
And that's more of like a national thing, like
Yeah.
sending people on the road. But so I'll be watching the folks. And then in that case, we'll bring them back for like a little on the job training just to kind of see how they manage this, that, and whatever. If you show up late to the interview, you won't get hired.
Yes, 100%. It's crazy how many people do that.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's simple as that. Like, and we, it's a thing in the shop where if they're, if I'm not doing the interview, because for the last few years, I haven't been doing, for the last like 5 years, I haven't been doing the interviewing.
Really? Who does the interviews?
It was CJ. It was the gentleman that's leaving. So we developed.
That's a crazy thing to delegate too. That's very impressive. That speaks volumes to him. If your culture stayed at what you wanted it at.
Well, CJ was more thorough than me.
Okay. Even better. Yeah. You want him to do better than you.
Oh, CJ was one of those guys where he challenged me all the time.
Nice.
In some ways where it pissed me off, but and I've told him that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because CJ's one of those guys, and he's told, this is his, and if you're watching the CJ, he will agree. He says, I have a problem with thinking I'm the smartest guy in the room. But he's very intelligent, but he's thorough, and sometimes he's too thorough, but he really, when you're going back to what's our hiring process, he built our hiring process.
Nice.
So basically what it is, well, if someone says, here's a resume, whatever, and we bring him in, we'll interview him a couple times.
Yeah.
Usually it would be with CJ. In the future, it's going to be with me first, or Brian, who would be on the design side. He's going to be more a little in tune with design questions, this, that, or whatever.
Okay.
Then we'll do a little tour for them, have them see the shop, this, that, or whatever. Meet the team, kind of get a little bit
they kind of fit in.
A little bit of a vibe check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if it's like an installer, we'll kind of have them come in and shadow for a day, kind of just see the shop, see what they can do.
So they kind of have a day. Their interview is almost like a day long, would you say?
No, the interview is an interview.
Just interview's an interview, and then if they do well in that, then you bring them in we want to bring you in for a day.
And maybe not a day, a couple hours.
Okay.
And we'll have some other people on the team work with them in the sense of either in the interview, like you met me, now they'll meet you or Jill or Brian or whoever it may be.
Yeah.
And then we might throw them in the apparel department, or we might throw them with the designer and kind of let them, look through Shopbox, or let them look through the design process or this, that, or whatever, or give them a fake project to work on, or, hey, we have a door, like a transit door that we've set up for practicing and stuff like that. So we'll
I think what you're touching on there, sorry to interrupt you, is I've gotten some responses from people because we have very similar process. It's actually really cool listening to you because I'm like, oh, we must be doing something right because ours is very similar. And there's this weird fear of you're bringing in these people and on this interview type feel you're getting free labor out of them. So I'd like to emphasize that you're having them do these practice things. These aren't things that they're coming in and making you money and then you're turning around and selling, I'm assuming. Because I got a lot of feedback of like, are you having me come in and work for a day for free?
If it's an experienced installer and they have that opinion, that's okay. But also that's a red flag in the hiring process.
Yeah, like right off the rip, you're like already kind of
you're suggesting that
a little bit.
Well, you're suggesting that I'm doing something dishonest.
Sure.
And that doesn't jive with me.
Yeah.
It's like we put people first, and I really want to be upfront with our direction and what we're doing here. But no. And another thing, 9 times out of 10, those individuals that think they're really good aren't that good. And it's no hate.
Yeah.
But it's kind of bring them back to ground level.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times these folks have the big fish in a small pond.
Yes.
And then they get into a bigger pond. They're like, damn. Because what I like to say is my guys at my shop, they smash.
Do you have to up their confidence? Do you ever catch that? Like in our own shop, like they're, that person online, they're so much better than me. And I'm like, you do circles around them, like absolute circles.
I have a big thing about social media is not real.
Yeah. Where it's like, you don't know what they did on the video.
You can't.
But, but when you teach people from ground up, though, it's hard to be like, you're awesome. Like, I need you to know that. Do you have any advice on how to increase your team's confidence?
Take them to a show.
Good idea. Yeah.
Take them to a show, man.
So they can see and do competitions.
They can do one of these competitions, get in the demo depot, get in one of these hood or whatever competitions in these booths. And like I brought my whole team to RapsCon last year. Like 3, 4, 5 people well, 5, including me. And they did the RAV competitions and they were doing all the things. And, there was a few moments where they got discouraged, but then there was other moments where they're like, I fucking got this,
And that's probably better to have both instead of them just come in and absolutely like completely annihilate. Like it's good to be a little humble as well.
And I had one guy, I took him to a trade show years ago and he's a killer. And he came here and his head got bigger.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Okay.
And I'll leave his name out of it. If you're watching, I love you, baby. But like, it's one of those things where like, and he's a phenomenal installer. So I think being humble goes so far. Going back to like that person asking about free labor, it's like, dude, like, no, I'm not leaning in that direction.
Yeah.
And one thing I like to mention is when we do internships, they're paid. We don't do, I think free internships are nuts.
I was about to say, do those still exist? People are still doing those? I don't even know.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
I would hope not. Like when we do an internship, it's definitely paid less, and it's not full time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It will be, usually it's part-time and it's for, usually it's in the summer or something like that.
Yeah, busy season.
Yeah, so it really depends on, we have like no real thing. We'll customize it to that individual.
Okay.
And that's kind of how we treat all our team members. Everyone kind of has a catered lifestyle.
Okay.
Because everyone's a little different.
Yeah.
If you're not able to get out of bed in the morning and come, if I can accommodate and it makes sense, I might try to accommodate. Or if you don't do good on late night jobs or this, that, or what, I won't send them to you, because if you start getting sluggish and having issues, it just
reprints and all of that.
And it disrupts the culture as well.
Yeah.
So we want people to be happy and have a good time. So we do try to cater to those individuals. So it's not a one size fits all in business. What I've noticed, one of my mentors back in the day gave me some good advice. They said they were talking about experience when they were in the corporate world. It's actually my father-in-law. He gave me this good piece of advice years ago. He had a guy that was upset with him, and he goes, Jim, when I wake up in the morning, I don't think about how I can make you happy. And I was like, it's kind of intense.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it really does make sense. This is a business, and I'm trying to create a culture of going upward and not downward. But if you're trying to make this about you
versus
it really messes everything up. And that really stuck with me, where I'm not going to make everybody happy.
Sure.
But if I can promote positivity and try to keep this stoke up, usually people like put it in their pocket and hold it with them.
Yeah.
But if you do the negative side, they're going to put it in their pocket and hold it with them too.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're really about the stoke and keeping the positivity up, and the culture is really important to us. And I think having a good attitude and bringing something to the team. I can bring someone with no experience tomorrow, and they can generate positivity in the group. For someone, like I can take them on a wrap project and they can pick up the trash.
Yeah.
They can remove the backing paper. They can do these things that is actually extremely helpful.
And it helps with the efficiency thing that you
100%.
talked about earlier. I know in our shop, that was a huge thing, was with these interns, what can they actually help with? Well, they can clean the shop. They can clean the cars right off the rip.
100%.
Like they might not be able to wrap a hood yet, but they can do all of these other things that help. I mean, even just like you said, taking out the trash. If you know how to completely wrap a car, in my opinion, unless we don't have that person taking out the trash, I want to keep a squeegee in your hand and
100%.
you keep wrapping
100%.
because that's what I hired you for and trained you for, versus like you shouldn't be like cleaning the coffee pot or something.
And that's a very, very great point. That's how we were back in the day, where the most experienced installer was, taking out the trash and spending 2 hours driving to an easy job.
Yes,
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Where you're
It's
like, I could have sent someone else.
I could have done something
that.
better, a little more efficient. I think that kind of goes back to how we, we're more intentional and focused and kind of just leaning on people's strengths and weaknesses. And there's nothing wrong with weaknesses as long as you're aware of them.
So back to I like the internship thing that we're talking about here, because I feel like there's probably a lot of shops that aren't reaching out to their local career centers or colleges. Is there, like with us, we're specifically with their like graphic design department? Is that what you're connected with, or what department is it within the colleges?
Well, it depends at the school.
Okay.
So like at the college, we're working with the design department. Well, not the design degree or whatever.
Right. Whatever it's called.
So we'll be working with them. Now in the trade schools, usually it's like some form of like the graphics or automotive side. Usually it's like there's one school where they have wrapping, promotional, like apparel, like so screen printing
is
and all
big.
that stuff, design.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so a lot of those folks. So we'll go in there and we'll do a demo,
Yeah.
and we kind of hang out, show them how to wrap a hood. We'll bring some material and do a thing. The trade shows. I'm sorry, the job hiring fairs.
Yeah.
Those are ones we like to go to.
You have a lot of success with those? Those are going well. We've done a couple and it went okay, but I might just be doing it wrong.
Well, we hired a great lad 100 years ago at one of them. And he was, so I like to say, sure, we've had some success, but I think it's more the success we had was the relationships with that trade school.
Sure. Because they like you to set up a booth because they are trying to get those businesses in.
And
yes.
If I'm getting a few hire, like we have some schools where we've hired 4 or 5 individuals over the years, more than that.
And I think they like track that.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Because,
so that's a really important relationship to have is with that particular
for sure.
person who's running that program.
And typically what they do is they'll put you on the board and invite you to these dinners and these things and help these things. So Brian's on the board for one of the trade schools. So, and that's more on the design side. So they'll invite us to an event. He'll go to an event and sometimes they're like TED Talks. So he'll get on a stage with these, 40, 50, 100 young professionals and he'll highlight a detail on design or a detail on how to get hired, or he'll promote Lettering Express and how, if you get yourself in a creative field, it doesn't necessarily have to be a design firm.
Yeah.
You can go work for a big apparel shop and get to design cool t-shirts or work for a sign or wrap shop and get to, because all these design kids it's really tough to watch and see, but when they're designing in these schools and they're doing stuff that's real, but it's only real for like proper design firms, and that's a very hard
small business, basically, that are everywhere.
And you can do design stuff. Like a lot of these people, they're set up for like web.
Yes.
And or a different style print.
Yes.
And they don't understand bleeds and margins and
we
plotting
haven't
something
found
really small.
any vehicle wrap experience at all is being taught, like large format in general. Like they
No,
can do a
not
great
usually.
business card.
Great business card, great flyer, great layout of a website or
that's
this, that.
it.
Yeah. And and we brought in a lot of really good designers over the years, and every single one of them said like, hey, I learned so much
Here.
on the job here. We had one girl that left, Naoma, what up, girl? She left and crushed. Went and started her own design firm, like a proper design firm.
Yeah.
And now she's running her own podcast with another local
that's
legend,
awesome.
and she's killing it.
Yeah.
And she gave us some love when she got out of school. She's like, you guys helped me. We took the things that she learned and elevated them, and then she took the things that she learned and elevated us.
Yeah.
That's
so awesome.
it was really
these
cool.
are some things that benefited me. And I think that's been a common theme at this whole show with all the guests I brought on is this whole, like, if your employee leaves to pursue something better, like help them do whatever you can because it'll come back to you.
Yeah. The world's so small, especially this industry, and your market is even smaller.
Yeah.
So you don't want to poop in the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean?
That'll be the soundbite for your episode. You don't want to poop in the Kool-Aid. Watch this episode.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, man, because it makes it shitty. And we're all about good vibes, and not to sound like a hippie or something like that, but the world is small, and this world's ugly.
Yeah.
So if I can promote some positivity to these young individuals or this industry, I'm going to do my fucking damn best to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think an important thing that you mentioned was, you're doing these job fairs, you're doing these TED Talk type talks to these students. I'm going to assume you're not getting paid for any
No,
of
it's
those.
all free. Yeah.
So those are those moments when you get invited to do things, you have to stop thinking, well, am I making a dollar amount for that? And realize the return's going to come later.
Oh,
On that. It's not this dollar transaction. It's
For
an
sure.
investment into yourself and your business by taking those opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. It also like stokes me up.
Yeah.
Like giving back in a way.
And kids think wraps are super cool, which is
Oh, for
really
sure.
exciting. Like when you show a video on the screen, they're always like, and I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, it's the transformation. They love a transformation.
Yeah, they love that more than just, computer work.
But I will say, like, also for those individuals like Brian, it stokes him up.
Yeah.
It lets him know, like, solidifies where he's at in his professional career, that he gets to get up on stage and, say that he knows a thing or two. And people are listening with intention and there to learn from him. And I know who doesn't like being recognized for their craft. So I think it's good for everyone involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think at the student level of colleges and even high school, I don't feel like it doesn't seem 100% like they're teaching what's actually happening in a business.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because you get these students in and they're kind of, I've gotten the sentence, oh, well, this isn't like McDonald's. And I'm like, you know how big of a business McDonald's is?
Yeah.
Like, I wish we were like McDonald's, honestly, because they're massive.
Yeah.
But they don't see that difference of like a McDonald's isn't going to operate the same as a mom and pop, in regards to what they can give you.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like I bet McDonald's in Oklahoma, starts hiring at
like 18 an hour or something,
like
right?
18, $20 an hour.
And it's hard to compete with that.
Well, so like that's why we went to a small team, because if you can go flip burgers for $20 an hour, I should be able to pay you plus 20 plus
more than 20
to wrap cars.
And that was hard when that happened. Do you remember seeing I think all the McDonald's had like the window perf in the window that was like hiring at 18 an hour. And I remember I drive by and just like, oh, you can't, because I know my team's seeing that.
Yeah.
And it's just a gut punch because I'm like, how do we make that happen?
Well, I think the big thing is like I'm also, and it's kind of tough for these individuals to pick up on it, but it's like I'm giving you a trade.
Yeah, you're learning something and getting paid to learn.
And the beautiful thing about our industry is if you're in Oklahoma, you can move to New York and someone's going to be sticking stickers.
Yeah.
You can move to Oregon and it's not just something that makes sense for our market. It's something that you can take with you, and I don't get to take that back.
Yeah, like knowledge is invaluable. Yeah, that's in your head forever, and no matter how you leave this business, you have that in your head.
That is you, and like that's part of the stoke as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but one thing I will say, when we really started focusing on our team, I had this idea. It's like, I would love to keep team members forever.
Yes.
And then there was a point where I realized you're never going to keep someone forever. And
it's hard to come to that.
And it's a point you have to as a business owner, or even a hiring professional or a team lead or whatever it may be, just to recognize that detail in an individual, because not everyone, but most people strive to do more. So in that moment, once I realized that, people started staying longer.
Weird how that works, right? It's almost like they can sense your desperateness is gone.
100, yeah. Or like that, maybe.
I don't know, like that chumminess.
Yeah, I just think it just changes the thickness in the air.
It does, because it's like, if you leave and you go do your own thing, that's great. We'll be here. And basically, do you have a lot of people that leave and come back? Has that happened?
We've had that a bunch.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, we've had that. Well, because it just solidifies that you're not a schmuck. And
yes,
you take
exactly.
Care of
and they go, the grass wasn't greener, and I'm like, I know, but you needed to learn that on your own. So we had to go through that.
We had that conversation last night.
Really?
Like how everything looks like the grass is greener on the other side. And back in the day, I used to say, you know what? Go for it. But I feel like I kind of didn't do my team justice. Because I've had, at one point, we had a factory of installers going through my building. I'd get them certified and they'd bounce. Not like they would get not like get certified and bounce immediately. Not like how most people talk about it.
Okay.
But my point being is like we were just creating all of these phenomenal installers, and then they would go out on their own and start their own business.
Yeah.
And not even necessarily become my competition per se, but they would go do it and they would say, I'm leaving to start my own thing. And I'd be like, okay, cool. Well, good luck, man. I'm nothing but the best. Like, I hope you kill.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like, if I can hire you for a project, I'm going to do my best to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. But in my head, I'm like, man, you're not ready.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to shit the bed. And not because you're an idiot, because you just have no idea.
You have no idea what the other side looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to just kind of ignore that detail and just like, they need to go figure it out themselves. But now my mindset is I want to be honest with them and say, hey,
Okay.
like I'm here for you, but like, and I want you to vibe out and go do your own thing and, go out and try to do that thing. But it's really tough.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that. Are you sure?
Okay. That's a really good way to think about it.
Well,
yeah.
no,
and present it.
Well, I think the big thing is, if you present it in a way like you're suggesting that they're going to fail, that's different.
Sure.
But just like saying, hey, I really want you to look in the mirror and hold yourself accountable, because I saw some folks like just die and it just killed me because they did the obvious poor things of like getting a stupid amount of overhead, getting a space, buying a machine, or it's like, you don't need that yet.
The brand new truck with a brand new wrap on it. And I'm like, whoa, you haven't made your first sale yet.
Yeah, you don't like, why are you paying a firm to design your brand? Like, you just be the wrap guy, fucking get your LLC in order and just start legitimizing yourself. You don't need all this stuff. Start hustling.
Yeah.
Because it's just and it bums me out because you see these individuals come back and say, hey, and they have to put their tail between their legs. I had one guy that he bombed and I heard he bombed and I was like, it broke my heart. And I was like, I hope he calls back. I'd hire him again.
Yeah.
And I heard that he got another job with another shop in the area. And I'm thinking, why the fuck?
Why didn't you come back?
Why don't you just come back? And and I talked to him. I talked to him a while back later because he's a homie. And he goes, and I was just like tail between my legs. I was a little embarrassed.
Do you wish that you would have maybe like shot him a message or something of like, hey, you have a spot here, or do you think that wouldn't have made a difference?
No, I probably would have.
Yeah.
And I did reach out to him, but it was just a little too late.
A little too late. Yeah. Timing's everything, which is crazy.
It is. But on a full circle love story, he ended up coming back to the industry and finding himself a cush position at another shop.
Oh, okay.
And he's doing really well. So it actually ended up working out for him, but he had to go eat some shit first and, fall on his face and pick himself up and dust off and get back out there. But
gotcha.
I think there's a big, as a business owner, leading these individuals in the right direction is super important.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to close out there. Is there anything that you would like to shout out? Is there any way we can follow your social channels? Anything you could tell our listeners before we close out here?
Thanks for having me. Charlie with Lettering Express, Ellie Raps OKC. Follow us on social media, Lettering Express, Ellie Raps OKC. Social media is not real,
Final nugget.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, have fun, be good, and everything comes full circle.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, that was Charlie Trujillo, everyone. We'll catch you in the next episode.
The Rap Institute, the largest online rap training platform, now with a special offer. Use our code RAPOPS15 for 15% off your order.